Wait. Damn it! Dummy. Forgot what episode this is. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 127 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on. So hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring that notification bell, do all the things. In fact, join the channel membership while you're at it. Into the show, because this hasn't been on for a week, and I feel like I missed you all. Yes, had to reset the counter just now because I decided it would be a really good time to cut some holes in this body for the Dune Master from Kyosho. I also trimmed the body, so wow, lots of progress happening on this guy. I was out today. Akira Nakai-san, who makes RWB Porsches, was in town doing a couple of RWBs. He was doing a 997 build, which he doesn't do very many of, today and yesterday. And then this weekend he's doing another one. I think he's doing his more traditional style, similar to the drift car that I have right here, which now has his signature on it. And he wrote "One Love," which is mega super cool. I cannot believe I got to meet him, watch him work, and get his autograph on one of my cars, which I am so stoked about. It means I can't drive it anymore, so I should almost just cast it and seal it in resin or something. Very, very amazing that he did that. And amazing that I got to see him build one of his cars. The man who got it named it, well, I don't know who named it. Nakai-san usually names them himself. This one was called Top Gun. And then they played the Top Gun theme, which is hilarious. All right, but that's enough about full-size cars and its smaller counterparts and resetting Lexan counters. Let's get into what we're actually more interested in for this episode. Let me clear off the desk, get to the project that I've been itching to get back on. So let's do that. I'm not good at sometimes remembering things. One of those things being the old Rockabilly build that I really should get done before mid-June, because I am going to Utah to participate in the WeRCRock event that they're holding there. I'm very excited about that, but that does mean that I have a lot of work ahead of me on this Rockabilly build. Nothing has changed since the last time you saw it, but I do have some things that I'm going to be adding today, including some Pricey's RC shocks, which are set up for droop, which I'm very excited about. I probably should replace this servo that I've put in here. This currently has a Reefs 900 Smart, but it's the full profile, so it sits quite low on the axle, which that's not good. You don't want that. That's not a thing you want. I also need to add a dig, which I now have. Very excited about that. I have the motor printed but not detailed yet, so we'll probably end up doing that at some point as well. This is a resin hood, which I'm a little worried about. The whole reason I have this is because I wanted to do a process where I actually electroplate this with metal, so it has a metal finish. But I'm worried that because it's resin, it's going to be really weak. So what I think I might do is I've actually got another one here that I printed in PLA matte. I'm a PLA matte. And I might actually finish this one and see if it holds the electroplating any better. Well, it's not going to hold it any better. It'll be the same. But I think it just might be a little more robust. Because if you know me, I'm not good also at the driving part. So yeah, that will kind of lead into the theme. I'm also, because I now have the Makera Carvera Air, which is a home CNC machine, a 4-axis capable CNC machine. I'm going to work with Shot ERC to make some new wheel rings, some beadlock rings, to see if we can't get even closer to the theme that I'm going for. And I have picked one. I've got one in mind. I've got all the pictures ready to go for all the detail work that I have to do. And I still have to find the Sencut Sand aluminum plates that I got cut for the body panels. I don't know what I did with those. They should be with the rest of the truck, but for whatever reason, they're not. So why don't we put some shocks on? If you've ever got shocks before from Steve Price of Pricey's Custom Crawlers, he does a very nice job of machining shocks. These are beautiful. Set up for droop, as you can see. And they've got this fancy offset rear mount, which I guess Josh made for a reason. Yeah, probably because it sits back a little bit. And I actually quite like that. That's really cool. You may get an idea of the theme from the colors that I've chosen. You can see there's a lot of that going on here. So yeah, let's get these installed and see how it changes the whole setup compared to whatever these shocks are. I don't even know what these are or where they came from. Let's get them on there. I wasn't kidding when I said Steve did actually set these up for proper functionality on specific cars and trucks and buggies. You can see he gets right into the details about how long the shock is, what kind of fluid he used, what kind of springs are in there, and where they should go. Thankfully, I put these on the right place. Nice. Okay, those are all on. They look fantastic. I love the new kind of lowered ride height. I think this looks so much better. Still plenty of travel. I love a droop setup. It's like my absolute favorite thing to set up. Just love how it performs too. Keeps the truck nice and low, sucks the wheel and axle down into an obstacle. It's really quite the thing to watch. All right, let's see what we've got in the old servo department. See if we can swap out that tall servo for something a little bit shorter, but still quite powerful. Let's see what we've got buried in the collection. And as if I were some master of the dark arts, the 800 Raw LP from WeRCRock has been installed. I love Reef servos. Never let me down in any way, shape, or form. In fact, the only time I've ever been let down by one was when I was the one responsible for all the letting down. So yeah, now we've got a nice matching color servo. Everything's coming up Millhouse on this build. This dig was actually a trade. I did some 3D printing for this dig. Looks like I'm going to need to do some disassembling in order to get this assembled and installed, which I will probably end up doing not on camera, because I do want to clean this before I install it and make sure everything is there and working. But rest assured, the next time you see this, it will have the dig installed. I am such a huge fan of the way Josh does these builds. Step by step through the Discord is an amazing way to do it. If you didn't get an opportunity to get in on the first round, he is offering these digital files online right now. I will put a link down below. You can build one of these. If you can braze, you should TIG. If you can't TIG like me, get someone to TIG it for you. Thanks, Frank. But if you can TIG, you should do this. And in fact, it's a great way to learn how to TIG. Take my advice from someone who still can't do it. Anyway, very fun build. Very excited to be back on this. Super excited about the prospect of comping with this. And of course, we'll also be comping the Jimmy's buggy again too. This guy has seen better days. It's a little bit dented, but I have made some changes. I think these have already been shown off before. I love these faux PSC hydraulic rams. I think that just looks so cool. Have it on the front and the back because this is a four-wheel steer buggy. Also, these are all now aluminum axles because Josh gave me a real hard time about that the last time. I don't know why. I'm being so mean. It was probably when he was yelling at me for driving. That's why I forgot. Anyway, yes, this one will also be going to Utah for that same comp. And if I have time, I will build up a leaf sprung chassis. I've got this one here from NWSD, and I would love to do another leaf spring build. I don't know, what have I got? A month and 2 weeks? If you can think of something I can build in that kind of time frame, put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. And of course, think of something that's leafed. I think that would be such a fun, stupid thing to do. I love ruining performance. So see what's out there. Put some ideas down below. I would absolutely love your feedback. And yeah, I think that's sort of where we're at. I got a lot of work to do. So aside from these projects and all of my regular projects and work and making YouTube videos, I've also got another big project on the go. And I wish I could tell you more about it, but I can't yet. But I promise there will be video about it at the end of the summer. Oh, one final thing. I did start to experiment with a HPI TTR Nano and putting other bodies on it. I printed this Porsche body out from a file I got on CG Trader. I need to scale it up a little bit more, and then I think it'll fit pretty nicely on here. There, of course, they said they're going to be offering other bodies. I hope they do, because this thing is wild fun, and I think it would be a lot easier if they had different bodies for when I'm trying to race against my friends. My invisible imaginary friends. Maybe I'm racing against one of you right now. Can you see your friends in the room, Matt? All right, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Apologies for the delay. Happy to be back at it. We'll see you again next week.